Bitter criticism Sunday. Today I have a lot of garbage news, but they are not properly garbage, they are scientific news. You will see I have not usual news from HuffPost, for example. Yeah, this is kind of garbage, but I'm going to read it anyway. Politics, Associated Press, Gulf of Mexico, Caroline Leavitt. White House defense barring AP from press events over Gulf of America decision. Quote, if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable, end quote, said White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. This article is by Nina Golgowski. February 12, 2025. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stood by her order to restrict press access to the Associated Press. AP is Associated Press after the global non-profit news outlet refused to comply with President Donald Trump's executive order that changes the Gulf of Mexico's name to Gulf of America. It looks like a domestic decision from the U.S. The U.S. is going crazy. There's been a streaming here. There was a video, but I didn't saw it. 1 minute video. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stood by her order to restrict press access to the Associated Press after the global non-profit news outlet refused to comply with President Donald Trump's executive order that changes the Gulf of Mexico's name to the Gulf of America. Quote, I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. End quote, Leavitt said at an afternoon press conference. Quote, I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is. She went on. What she said. Gulf of America.
Atención. Para abrir la puerta del tren, presione el botón cuando se ilumine.
She said Gulf of America. Anyway, I'm sure she went on while calling out of Google's and Apple's decision to comply with Trump's order. Quote, it's very important to this administration that we get that right, not just for people here at home. Not just for people here at home, but also for the rest of the world, she said. Anyway, Google said only if in the US would the old name be completely scrubbed from its maps. The name will not change for those in Mexico, and both names, the current and former, will be visible for everyone in the rest of the world. I don't care. I don't care about the Gulf of Mexico. Leavitt's insistence immediately followed the Associated Press sending a warning letter to the White House Chief of Staff, stating that it's quote, prepare vigorously defend its constitutional rights, end quote, after its reporters were barred access to press events on events Tuesday. In a letter addressed to White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles and obtained by the New York Times, Associated Press executive editor Julie Pace called the restrictions a clear violation of the First Amendment. Quote, the actions taken by the White House were plainly intended to push the Associated Press for the content of its speech. It is among the most basic tenets of the First Amendment that the government cannot retaliate against the public or the press for what they say, Pace said. Pace stated that Leavitt on Tuesday personally warned that an Associated Press reported that access will be restricted to the news organization establishing in 1846 if it didn't immediately align its editorial standards with Trump's executive order, which was signed on January 20. There are just more two paragraphs. When the Associated Press didn't comply, an Associated Press reporter was blocked from entering the Oval Office to cover an event. Another reporter was blocked from an evening press event in the White House. In the White House diplomatic room, Pace said. The Associated Press has argued that because the body of water includes international waters, quote, Mexico as well as other countries and international bodies do not have to recognize the name change, end quote. Quote, as a global news agency that disseminates news around the world, the Associated Press must ensure that place names and geography are easily recognizable to all audiences, the news outlet said. Yeah, so I guess America is done. This is just symbolic, this is just bullshit, yeah. Bullshit news. Bullshit news. Let's see from Reuters now. And Facebook
Por tu
post.
seguridad y la de todos los pasajeros, no te sientes en el suelo.
Reuters Facebook post says, Europe will need to make tough choices and sacrifices in order to deal with the threats facing it and to ensure its security, said French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot on Saturday at the Munich Security Conference.
Estación Varón.
And says Reuters, for some reason Reuters is sponsoring news in my timeline. So right now I'm reading Reuters for the very first time. I don't think it's reliable. I think Reuters is maybe English newspaper, isn't it? Who knows? Reuters. French Foreign Minister, Europe faces tough decisions to tackle threats and ensure its security, by Reuters. February 15, yesterday. Updated a day ago. The photograph showcased France's Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs, Jean-Noël Barrot, delivers a speech in Paris, France on January 6, and the photograph shows a conference of ambassadors. What is a conference of ambassadors? Ambassadors conference. And anyway, Munich, February 15th. Europe will need to make tough choices and sacrifices in order to deal with the threats facing it and to ensure its security,
Para abrir la puerta del tren, presione el botón cuando se ilumine.
said French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot on Saturday at the Munich Security Conference. This conference was very hype. Everybody was there. I guess there should be should be a cocktail at least and a rave and with a lot of video mapping. Anyway, quote: "We need to prepare. We need to prepare. We will have to face difficult days. We will have to face difficult days, make complicated decisions, and even sacrifices, which we weren't expecting until now to ensure this security," said Barrot, speaking to reporters at the event. And there's a video there, streaming a short video. Barrot also said he thought that after he had held talks with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, that the U.S. administration was still forming its opinion over how the U.S. should handle the Ukraine crisis. There's a propaganda. The Reuters daily briefing newsletter provides all the news you need to start your day. Maybe. And that's it. That was all. I guess I have more news from Reuters. So a very short note from Reuters. And there's another one from ABC. Oh, this is very interesting. I love this guy. Look, ABC 7. From also from Facebook. I didn't like it. I didn't follow this. They are sponsoring me with this. The man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York City last December is responding to an outpouring of support he says he has received. Even for myself, yeah. Luigi Mangione, accused killer of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. And says like this, Luigi
El
Mangione.
bloqueo de puertas puede provocar retraso. Respeta la alarma de cierre y colabora con un mejor viaje para todos.
Luigi Mangione, the bigger working class hero from all time. He's bigger than Trotsky and Lenin and Che Guevara. What about that? Anyway, Luigi Mangione, accused killer of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, issues statement from prison. This news from CNN, Saturday, February 15th. Look, CNN. I don't care. This is bullshit. And the legend says, Luigi Mangione updated. The man accused of killing Brian Thompson, United Healthcare CEO, shot and killed in New York City, is speaking out. New York, the man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York City last December is responding to an outpouring of support he says he has received. Luigi Mangione released a statement Friday on a new website created by his attorneys. In comments, it comes ahead of his scheduled court appearance next week. Mangione's statement acknowledges all the letters of support he has received, and he says his support transcends political, racial, and class divisions. Absolutely. The statement notes the website was created to help keep the public informed on updates in Mangione's case. See also death penalty expert added by defense in case of slain United Healthcare CEO.
Estación Recreo.
The 26-year-old Mangione pledged not guilty to 11 state murder and terror charges. 11. He could face the death penalty if found guilty of a federal murder charge. Mangione also faces charge in Pennsylvania, where he was captured after several days on the run. Run, Mangione, run! Who knows, who knows? Yeah, so I guess he's not guilty. I guess Brian Thompson is worse than him. So for me, that's justice. For me, Luigi Mangione is better. He is justice. Oh, I just read that. I'm making a stupid course here in Chile, allegedly college course, which for me is nothing at all, really nothing. It's just to get some food stamps for my dogs, to buy some rice for my dogs. That's it. But sometimes we make exercises, collective exercises online, and next time I will put Luigi Mangiones, definitely. Nobody will understand, for sure.